Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to another What I Eat Today video. Thank you so much for continuing to join me for fantastic days of food. I have my Christmas jumper on today. I'm feeling all festive and I'm really excited to share some really lovely seasonal recipes with you guys. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I upload these super frequently and I love doing them. These are vlogs are my favourite things to film. I love to cook, I love to eat, so I hope you're all enjoying them. So this morning I got up and I had quite an indulgent breakfast actually, which is not that typical of a Monday morning. I'll insert that now. This morning I've decided to have something that I haven't tried before, which will be nice. You may have noticed that I've been partial to having toast in the mornings, and that is because I keep trying out new different breads, and also I found a new love in my life. I keep mentioning this because it is so good. Now I'm not gonna lie, in regards to point value, it is very high, so I don't have it a lot. I don't have a lot of it rather, even though I have it quite frequently. And this is the M&S salted caramel and chocolate spread. I feel like it's a festive season. If you're going to indulge, now is the time. And I can guarantee you this will be delightful on a croissant. I haven't tried that yet, but I think over Christmas I definitely will. And on my other piece of toast, because I'm going to have two, I'm going to switch it up and have some blackberry conserve, which is my favourite jam actually. And I get it from Tesco. I mentioned that I was going to be trying a different bread today. My husband is a big fan of this, hence the fact that there's hardly any left. And this is a loaf by Warburton's, but what's special about this is it is an orange and fruit infused loaf, which I've had something similar before, and it was a raisin and nut loaf. This is actually, again, one with orange in there as well, and you guys know I'm a massive fan of orange. Now, I want to reiterate, I don't point anymore, but I do like to give you guys a point value just in case you are, because I know a lot of you that will apply. And when it comes to this loaf, it is 4 points for one slice. Now what I'm going to do is get that measured out for you guys, because sometimes when you're having bread, when you weigh it out, the point value actually turns out to be lower or higher depending on what it equates to in grams. So I'm just going to give that a double, triple check for you guys. I'm going to change that to grams, and that is 67 grams for the two slices. Now that should be around 8 points, but actually it's coming up as 7, so again we've saved a point there, so it's always worth checking. So whilst we wait for the toast, I thought I would give you guys a point value of the conserve. Now again, this isn't something I paid too much attention to, but this is 2 points a serving, and I would have thought that's quite a generous serving because a lot of people like to have a nice generous bit of jam on their toast. And when it comes to the salted caramel, again, this is very high. It's 25 points per 100 grams. You might have about 10 to 15 grams on a slice of toast. Not even that actually. If you had a really thin serving, you might be looking at about 4 points, which I'm quite happy to spend. And if you have weeklies, or if you're just happy to spend it, then of course do so, because it is delicious. Okay, so I'm only going to butter the slice that I'm having with jam, and the chocolate spread, or chocolate and caramel spread, I'm not going to bother putting butter on that because that is indulgent enough as it is, and to be honest I think it would impact the flavour. So I'm just going to get myself a little dollop of this jam. Now this jam is so concentrated, like honestly you don't need much of it, but it is definitely one of my favourite jams ever. I love it so much. So if you are a fan of a blackcurrant jam in particular, I would definitely check this one out, because it's the only one that I keep going back to. Normally I'm not too precious about my jams until I've discovered this range, and I love the plum one. I actually use the plum one on legs of lamb and on pork joints and things like that, because it's just a wonderful rich flavour. They're very authentic. If you see, they actually have the bursts of blackcurrants in there, so lots and lots of flavour. Really nice and vibrant and zingy for the mornings, and equally good on porridge. So I'm going to get myself a light, I say a light serving, that's probably not actually that light, but again I'm not being too precious or pointing, so I'm quite happy to spend the points if I'm honest. It's also that time of the month, so anything sweet I can get in me I am definitely all for at this current moment in time. And that is my toast, guys. I'm going to go and enjoy that with a cup of tea, which is already boiling. Oh my goodness, that orange bread was delicious. They also do it in a cinnamon flavour as well, which I think I prefer. I prefer the cinnamon, but you guys know how much I love orange. That was delicious. I loved it. But now I'm hungry and it's lunchtime and I want to make a sandwich. I've been really enjoying sandwiches recently, you may have noticed that. But I have some new bread that I wanted to try that I've not tried before, and I always surround my fillings by the type of bread that I'm using, which is quite strange because normally you would use bread, any bread, and the filling is the most exciting part, but I actually love to try different breads, and this one is the Tesco dark rye and sunflower farmhouse loaf, which sounds delicious. I also picked up some roasted cold deli beef from Tesco yesterday, and I'm thinking about making myself a little bit of a drizzle to go on top with garlic, lemon and coriander, because I had something similar from M&S and I loved it. So I'm going to try and recreate my own version of that. A nice warm sandwich with dollops of mayo and cheese, and it's going to be delicious. And then for dinner tonight I'm going to make a roast chicken, but not just any roast chicken. It's going to be a nod to my Middle Eastern heritage. I'm going to make a Middle Eastern harissa infused chicken, which is a chicken that's going to be roasted in the oven with a beautiful rose harissa marinade, which is going to be really aromatic and delicious, and we're going to have it with rice, and we're going to have it with potato, and it's going to be mega. You can serve it with so much. You could have it on a sandwich, you can serve it with rice, you can serve it with chips, salad, as a warm salad. It's just delicious, and I really love to use rose harissa. I think for this time of year it's really spicy and warm and inviting, and it's super easy because if you buy it in a jar like I do, all of the marinade is done for you. So yeah, that's going to be dinner. So a lovely day of food. I hope you all enjoy it, and yeah, let's get on with the day. Here we go, and this is fantastic for making marinades, for blending up garlic with olive oil and that kind of thing. Ideal for rubs. Now because it's just me eating this, I'm not going to have too much garlic. I'm literally just going to get myself 1 clove of that. We're going to need some seasoning in the form of salt and pepper, a good quality olive oil, and of course a chopping board for at some point. But the first thing I'm going to do is get my garlic straight into my dish, and I'm going to use a microplane to slice it and grate it nice and finely. And I'm going to link this microplane down below because it's a fantastic one. It's super good quality. I'm going to put a dollop of good quality olive oil in there as well. Not too much. I don't want, you know, it too impactful. I have some rock salt, a little bit of that, followed by some coarse black pepper, which has been pre-ground in my processor. And then along with that, I'm going to shred some coriander. Just give that a little rinse and just go in there with parsley. But already that coriander, the scent has hit me, so let's get some parsley chopped in there as well. And I have a lemon. I'm going to slice that in half and use half of it now, and I'll use the rest of that for our chicken later so it will not go to waste. And now I'm just going to lightly mix this all in, just kind of crushing it all up. The oil will break a lot of these greens down, as will the garlic. That is just going to break everything down and just make a really lovely drizzle, which again, you can use this for so many things, guys. It's just a really super versatile kind of vinaigrette slash dressing, and this is very, very similar, even smells similar to the one I had in M&S the other day. So many wonderful flavours. Again, if you're not a big fan of coriander, feel free to skip on that. So this is the beef that I'm going to be using today. Super low in point value. This is the charred top side of beef. Now, I know for a fact, because I've had this before, that it's not even a point for half of this packet. Like, it's 2 points for this whole packet. So it's a really fantastic one. But if you are pointing, you don't have to worry. It's got about 2 healthy slices of this because, like I said, it's not high in point value at all, and it's absolutely delicious. So that's my lovely cut, and you can smell like it's definitely charred. Like, you can tell that there's a beautiful like charcoal flavour to this, which again, it's such a treat, especially for lunch. Then we have the beautiful loaf of bread, which I'm going to put the point value for this in the description box down below because I've not brought my phone into the kitchen with me. It's actually charging in the living room. So I will check the point value of that because again, I'm not being too accurate, so I'm not too precious about it, but it smells delicious, and I like the fact that it's super soft and gooey and thick. It's just a really lovely loaf. I'm going to pop this loaf into my bread bag. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some mayo on this sandwich because I think it would be delicious. You don't have to add cheese to this. I just think it will complement it really nicely. I'm only going to mayo one side of my bread. I'm going to get my beef on. I'm going to get my sauce and drizzle some on. Spread it round. I think it really does add to the dish, so I'm gonna add that on. So my sandwich is out and it's so soft and warm and comforting. And just a sandwich, this is a beautifully constructed effort has been made and it's totally worth it, and honestly it will taste divine. Now I basically cannot have a sandwich without enjoying some crisps on the side, so I picked up these recently. They are the crinkle cut roast beef with horseradish crisp from Tesco. Again, echoing that beef, echoing that lovely flavour, and I think the horseradish will add a nice sharpness. I haven't tried these before. I will keep you guys posted as to what I think about them, but I love to add crisp to the sandwich, and what a treat. I'm going to have that with a Coke Zero and I'll be a very happy bunny indeed. Lunch was delicious, and I'm now going to season the chicken just before I head out on my school run. So I have this large family chicken that I put into my oven dish. That is just sat on top of a light sprinkling of olive oil, a good quality olive oil. And the first thing I'm going to do is the lemon juice that we have from earlier, I'm going to spritz on top of this chicken before I add anything. This lemon is going to help the chicken to break down, and also it's going to add a lot of flavour, and I find that stuffing the cavity with the lemons that I have juiced is a fantastic way to reinvest more flavour into the chicken. So I have 2 more lemons here that I'm also going to chop now. And I have another lemon here that I'm actually going to chop and pop in. And again, whilst these are in the oven, they're going to steam up and release a lot of flavour, which is going to be delicious. And then I'm going to make a rub, which is going to consist of a lot of similar things that we used in our sandwich, just because it's what I have in. And I find that using fresh parsley with chicken is always a good idea, and because we're cooking with a rose harissa, coriander is a perfect partnership for that as well. But again, feel free to skip on the coriander if you are not a fan. It's not an issue at all, just put in there what you would like. So in here, in my pestle and mortar, we already have a nice big knob of butter. I like to use a combination of butter and olive oil for my chicken. I think both add a nice texture and a nice flavour, so we're going to add those. And we're also going to add 2 fat cloves of garlic in there as well, which I am going to grate on the microplane first. This is what we have in the jar, this is what we have in the bowl, lots of different flavours. We're now going to pound it with the butter to make a rub. Now, again, you can do this by hand, you don't have to get it in the bowl like I have. I just find it infuses better and everything breaks down. It's a lot more easier to spread, and just make sure you wash them thoroughly. I remove jewellery and I get my hands in and I'm good to go. So I have this lovely chicken here, and I'm going to, is this going to pour out? Let's see how cooperative this is. So fairly cooperative. I'm going to put it on the top and then I'll get the rest out at my leisure, but I'm literally going to just massage this marinade in for now. About harissa, it's a Middle Eastern spice. We use it a lot. It's infused with rose petals, which again is a big part of Middle Eastern cuisine. When it comes to desserts, savoury dishes, your tea, you'll find a lot that is infused with rose in the Middle East. It's just a very, very commonly used spice and fragrance that we adore, and it's this beautiful ruby red colour. Like, you'll notice just how powerful and impactful this marinade actually is. You don't need much of it. So I'm going to pop some on here, push it down, and I don't want to put that spoon back just in case. I mean, I know I didn't touch the bottom of it, but I want to be cautious. I just want to get a little bit out here for the sides, and then all I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to get in with my fingertips, because that is the best way when it comes to ensuring that most areas of this chicken That time has come, guys. The chicken is in the oven, the scarf is on. I'm just about to pop my gloves on and head out and go and get Layla from the school run, and then I'll come back, most likely have a coffee and perhaps something sweet like a mince pie or perhaps some chocolate, not too sure yet. I've been having a mince pie most days, if I'm completely honest, and I've just been really enjoying it. So I'll get back, sort that out, and then once I've had a bit of a chill, I'll show you guys how to make the most perfect garlic and rosemary potatoes that go with, again, so many different dishes. Lamb, curry as a side dish, chicken, like any kind of seasoned chicken, a roast dinner, like they're just perfection. So I'll show you guys how to make those as well. These potatoes are very, very simple. So I'm popping them in an oven dish that has some olive oil in there. And all I'm going to do is season them with salt and pepper and put some rosemary and thyme on top, along with some all-purpose seasoning, and pop them in the oven for around 40 minutes, and they will be crisp and golden and delicious. It is literally as simple as that. So guys, we've come to the end of another What I Eat in a Day. That chicken was so delicious. It's definitely a must try. In the end, we didn't end up needing it with rice. We just had it with flatbread and also those potatoes that were delicious. And yeah, it was really lovely. A really simple dish. Makes a nice change for just having a standard roast chicken, as I've said. So do go on and try that. I'll put the recipe in the description box down below. It's just one that we've made up. But I hope you've all enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. And of course, I'm going to end the night with my nightly orange, and I'll see you in my next one.